Hello everybody and welcome to episode 41 of This Old Knit. I am your host Nina, otherwise known as Ine, on Ravelry, Instagram, and Pinterest. And you can find show notes on the Ravelry board for This Old Knit podcast. So as you can hear, I was sick again, so I apologize for missing recording last weekend, but I did not have any voice at all. So now I'm going to scoot you closer very gently. Okay, so now I have a voice, but I don't know how long it will hold out for. I am mostly better. I do need to take some Sudafed, which I should have done before I started recording, but that's fine because I can edit it out, so you don't have to know. Or maybe not if I'm lazy and I don't want to edit it out. Okay, so I am upstairs in the yellow room, but it's a little bit chilly today in the house. It's 60 degrees outside, so we actually have the windows open, which is really nice because it helps air the house out. I think the house gets really stuffy in the wintertime, just from, keeping it all closed up. We usually have our windows open for as much as we can of the year, and unfortunately in the winter we're kind of forced to have them closed. And I just think it makes it be a little bit dusty and stuffy, and I like when we can open it up again. So anyway, that was funny. I scooted you closer and then I scooted back. I'm hoping that it's not cutting my head off because I checked the camera position and it was very nice, and then I went and moved it, which was stupid of me to do. Anyway, it'll be what it'll be. So Joshua's taking a nap. We went outside for a little while today just because it was so nice, and we came back in when I felt like I couldn't do the nose thing anymore. So I have a lot of finished objects to show, definitely a bunch of whips because I cast on some new projects, and I wanted to talk about our CAL, talk about the upcoming CAL, and then talk about the 500 member giveaway that I have going in the group. So I will start with finished objects just because those are the most fun. So for this week I have a lot of finished objects. First up, just because they're on top of the pile, are my Volanvine socks. So these are the ones I was calling Octopus with a Latte. They are the Vanilla Latte sock pattern. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. I knit them in the Volanvine Yarns Footsie Base, the Octopus Garden colorway, on 2.75 millimeter needles, and they are 64 stitches. So I'm really happy with how they turned out. I love how it's striped on the heel flap, which I think I've talked about before, and I like how it's just sort of not exactly self-striping, but definitely in a very distinctive pattern. This is a good sock pattern. It was a little bit more interesting than knitting a vanilla sock, but not too complicated. So as you know, I started these last summer, and just while I was sick, I got a bug to finish up a lot of projects that had been sitting on the needles for a while. So I finished these and my shawl and a couple of washcloths all in one day, just because I felt like I wanted to finish stuff. I was going to finish Josh's gloves, but then it started to get dark, and I, like I've said before, have problems working on them when it's dark. So anyway, I would think 3 projects in one day is still a pretty good record. So that is what I got. So there you go. Now I can wear them because I've shown them on the podcast. I've been waiting to wear them, and I've had them done for over a week now. So I'm really excited to start wearing them. They're squishy and fun, and this yarn is amazing. So if you are thinking about buying Wool and Vine yarns, please do so, because Kristen is amazing and her yarn is awesome. So it's good to support her. So anyway, those are my first finished objects. And then I don't remember how many of these washcloths I had done last podcast. I started knitting a bunch of face cloths for Sally Jane's charity collection that she does. She hosts the Pink Hair Girl Knits podcast with her daughter Rachel, and they collect face cloths and hats for the Burns unit in South Africa. And I'd been thinking about sending something anyway, because Megwin really, really loves watching the podcast, and she loves Rachel and all of the kids, really, that Sally Jane has. She has 3 kids. Whenever they make an appearance, Megwin thinks it's so cool, and she's been wanting to send them something. So I think I will get together like some arts and crafts supplies to send with these washcloths, and maybe I'll make something else to include in the thing. I don't know. But anyway, I have 5 of them done. One of them is not here. It's kind of a bright orange, and it's made out of Knit Picks crayon, which is a cotton boucle that's discontinued. But I have, I think, 3 balls of it in my stash, and I've never really known what to do with it, but it makes really great washcloths. So if you have any of it and you are also thinking you don't know what to do with it, there's my tip. Make washcloths. Megwin wanted one of them, so she has one, and she actually didn't want me to work in the ends because she takes it and spins it in the shower when she's taking a shower. She thinks that's pretty funny, so hers won't have the ends woven in, but these will. So I made a peach one, and this is the Free Pattern Grandma's Favorite washcloth. It's really simple, and I've talked about it before. And then I made this one, and this one. And these are all just Lily Sugar and Cream that I had in my stash from before. So those are going to be towards my Team Polar Bear for the Canadian Knitter Podcast Winter Camp, and also the Clean Slate Challenge from the Just One More Row podcast. So I'm very proud that I'm getting those out of my stash. And then the last FO is on the bottom of this pile, and it is my Lalo shawl. So I'm happy with how it came out. It came out very big, which is what I wanted. So, see, massively big. So it's kind of a U shape, I guess, horseshoe shape, if you will. I knit it out of No Makers. It's a doppelganger set, so the variegated is called Gnome of the Lake, and the kind of tealy blue is Deep Blue Something. It's a semi-solid. And I used all but 20 grams of each of the balls. I kept enough to have a 10-gram mini skein for my Hexie Puffs and a 10-gram mini skein of each for a swap that I'm doing with another Raveler. So I made some mistakes on it, and it wasn't anything wrong with the pattern. It was just me either not paying attention, knitting when I was tired. Don't knit when you're tired, friends. I caught a lot of them. Some of them I didn't catch, so like right there, instead of doing a drop stitch, I did a yarn over. But it's not that noticeable. I got off by a stitch on my yarn overs, so they're slightly off there at the bottom. Again, not anything that anybody's going to notice when I'm wearing it. And when I was going to block it, actually, I noticed that I had a drop stitch in my garter section, one of the garter sections, this one. So at that point it was done and blocked, or it was about to be blocked, so I couldn't really do anything. So I just got the needle, I got a tapestry needle really quickly, grabbed some of the yarn, the variegated yarn, and I just tacked it down, and then I left the ends loose because I was like, I'm going to weave them in once it's dry. I just needed to secure it to be able to block it. So I don't think it's that visible. You can kind of tell right here there's a little bit of a hole, but again, not something you're really going to notice, and as long as it stays securely, I don't really care. I'm more worried about that my tacking down may not have been the best job. Time will tell, right? I just have to watch it when I wear it and just notice if it starts to come undone. So I haven't worn this yet. I've tried to wear it a couple times. Well, I have worn it one day. When I was working from home, when I was sick, I did have it just around my shoulders just to see how warm it was. And it was quite warm. It felt very nice. Honestly, I'm having trouble with styling it. So I would love some tips on how one would wear such a shawl. So here is one way I've kind of been wearing it, of just kind of securing it on the front, and then you can see it on the back in the pattern. And it's fine, you know, it doesn't really do much for me, but it's fine. So that's one way. The pattern actually had ways that it was styled. I think another way they did it was like they had this end like this, and then they did that. So there's another way I could wear it. Again, I don't know what I think of that. Typically I've only had triangular shawls, and I probably should have thought of that when I picked this pattern, right? Because silly goose, you've never worn anything like this before. So triangular shawls I kind of wear like this. But this one, I don't know, it makes me feel like I'm wearing a bib. I feel like I'm a grown-up wearing a bib, versus the triangle kind of comes to a very nice point. So maybe it's just that I need to get it kind of wadded up, or I don't know. You can see I'm struggling with it. It's beautiful, I love it, and I'm sure it's just me and I just need to get used to it. Maybe it's that I'm wearing it with the wrong top underneath. So I tried to wear it with, I have like a white sweater that has just a little bit of lace on the front, but it's just a pullover essentially. And I thought that'd be really nice, the white, and then this would give me a pop of color. But I felt like it was just, I don't know, it just wasn't doing it for me. So please let me know how you guys wear your circular shawls, and if you have any tips for me. So this was the other way I was wearing it, kind of, because it's big enough to go down over my shoulders, and then I can just have the ends kind of like that. This is kind of the most pleasing way I think that I've found to wear it, and I think especially if I had it with like a little 3/4 sleeve tee or something like that, this would be good for spring, because it'll keep my shoulders a little bit warm and give me a little bit of that warmth up around my neck. So that is the Lelo shawl. It is what it is. I am happy with it. I'm happy with how it turned out, and I'm glad that I finally knit up this doppelganger. This was actually the first No Makers yarn that I ever bought from Amanda, which is funny because I hadn't knit it up yet. Yeah, because I got it to make a little cardigan for Megwin, and then I ended up not using that. I ended up using the tweed that I showed later. because the striping kind of got lost with the variegated and then the semi-solid. There were some places where they just, obviously the variegation has that solid color in it. So there were places where the stripe got lost because it was only a 2-row stripe. So you couldn't see the variegation and it kind of looked more splotchy and just didn't work well in a stripy pattern. But this works great in. So the pattern was very easy to modify and make larger, and I'm glad that I did make it larger, just because if I had made it the size of the pattern, I think it would have come to like here maybe, and it would have been more like a shawlette for me. So those are all my FOs for this week. Then as far as things that I worked on, I've been working a ton on my Across the Pond shawl, which is what I cast on immediately after I bound off all my Lalo shawl, because I didn't block it until later in the day. So this I cast on with the Berry Nomi in No Maker's House Gnome. This one is actually a little bit softer than that batch of House Gnome, and like I said, I bought that many years ago, so it could be that her base is slightly different now, or maybe it's just a different batch, but this one is super soft. Could also be that I had knit with that previously. I knit a bunch with it, so since I had ripped it out and reknit it. I'm using the same size needles, size 5 US needles, and this pattern is by Mina Phillip, who is the host of the Knitting Expat podcast. I think I am 5 repeats in on this pattern, and it is so fun, guys. If you are thinking about knitting this pattern, totally do it, because it is super, super fun and it goes really quickly. So I love the way she's done the yarn overs. And, yeah, so this one is a crescent shawl. It's not the same shape as that, so it's not kind of the horseshoe shape. It's more of a true crescent. And then it has lace on the bottom of it. And I'm going to use the plum color, that's the solid color from this doppelganger for it. And Mina said I should have enough to do the large size. So I'm going to see how far I get. And the pattern is pretty easy to modify as well. She gives you instructions on it for how to modify it to make it be larger or smaller as your yarn allows. And see, isn't it cool? It looks kind of honeycombish on the back even. It's like kind of puffy and fun. So I'm enjoying the way this yarn is patterning. I really, really love this color. This is one of my favorite colors that Amanda does of yarn. I've wanted this color for a long time, so I finally snagged a doppelganger, and I'm happy that I'm knitting it up pretty much right away. I got it in my last No Makers order. So yeah, that's going really well. And then I had another new cast on that I cast on for a new pair of socks. So this is with Wool Silk Lace, I think is the name of this dyer. I do not remember the name of this colorway. It's got some silver stellina in it, and it basically has a navy blue stripe and then a multicolored stripe. Something about fireworks at night or something like that. It's really pretty. So she is a Russian dyer, and I think she lives in Finland. So I've not got very far on it. I've basically just done a little bit of the 2x2 ribbing on the top. So I'm doing a normal 64 stitch sock. I'm just going to do vanilla socks for this. I always keep a pair of vanilla socks going just because they're really easy to knit when you are out and about. So I started these when I was at a lunch with my team. And we had a new person that had started, so we were all kind of getting to know her. So I didn't want to be concentrating on the shawl pattern. So I just happened to have this ball of yarn and some sock needles. So I just cast on and started knitting some rib. And that's what I got done in the 30-minute lunch we had. I have both of those in my bag from Coddington that she made. Okay, there's going to probably be some pauses for nose blowing, so sorry. Okay, let's see if that's better. Sorry if I was crooked before. Maybe it was better before because it was kind of pointed at me. Okay. I don't know. Anyway, and then my husband came up too to see where I was. Because I came up here originally to take a nap and then I just couldn't get to sleep. The other new sock that I cast on are for my husband. So these are in the Highland Handmaids I Like Burning Things With You colorway. Sugar Maple Sock, I think, is the base. This base is super soft, and it's just a 75-25, but it's kind of a little bit fuzzy. To me, it feels like it has alpaca in it, but it clearly says it does not have alpaca in it, so I don't know. Don't know why it feels like that. But there's the yarn in the cake. I think I've shown the cake before on the podcast. I really like how it's knitting up, though. Sort of like flashing, I guess is what that's called. But it's definitely progressing through the different colors of fire. It's got black and this kind of smoky gray. And then yellow to orange to red. And then there's a little bit of the blue flame that you might see. So I'm enjoying those as well. Again, I haven't worked very much on them. I cast on with a 2.75 millimeter needle, which is my typical needle, but it actually seemed really, really big. So I switched to a 2.5 millimeter needle, and my other 2.5s are occupied somewhere, and I'm not sure what I have on them. Yeah, because I bought some Addies in 2.5 and 2.25. Anyway, I don't know where they are. So I had my Carbons, so I put them on my Carbons, which these Carbons are fine. The joins are okay. One of these I got from Molly of a Homespun House. She sent it to me ages ago at this point. And the other one I bought so that I would have a set of two, since I always knit with two circs. And they're fine. They're very reasonable needles. As long as the joint is good, they're fine. So, yeah, I might work a little bit more on these today. I don't know. Excuse me. And then I made, I think, one more Hexapuff. I made another Fireflies Hexapuff from No Makers. It's on her Sparkle Gnome base. And I still have some of that mini. Her mini skeins are huge. They are really, really big. So if you are going to sign up for her mini skein club at some point, which she just had it, but it's all the spots are gone. Totally do, because you really get your money's worth as far as minis go. So I've made 4 Hexapuffs, and this is how much I still have left. This is enough for another one, at least. So she's very generous with her minis. I made another one. And this one is from my friend Gwen. Used to dye yarn as the Crafts Meow. She's actually stopped dyeing yarn now and put all of her stock up on Etsy at kind of a reduced price because she's just trying to clear it out. And then, yeah, I don't think she's going to dye anymore. So That's sad because she did really great stuff. And then I started a Hexie Puff. I just started this while I was waiting for my husband to cook breakfast. With this super fun mini skein that Coddington sent to me in a package. She has totally spoiled me with all of her leftovers because she does not plan on making any kind of leftovers projects. So she has a bunch of leftovers from all of her projects, and she said if I wanted them, she would send them to me. So thank you so much. They are awesome. So I have a lot of stuff from her. And this was kind of funny, totally off topic, but that's sort of funny. She sent me this one, which is Bunomi. This is what she made her Atwood shawl in, which was her cowl project. Bunomi is one of my favorite colorways. Isn't that funny? It doesn't have the purple from, like, the Octopus Garden, or the gold, but it has the pink, green, and brown. I just thought that was hilarious how color coordinated that they were. So, anyway, and the last thing I worked on was my blanket, but I didn't do that much on it, I don't think. I worked on it one day when I was really sick. I think I'm just trying to finish up that little ball. Yeah, just from the book mark to here. So really nothing at all. I more was using it up here to keep myself warm. When I was sick, I was kind of hanging out up here quite a lot, because it was easier for me to sleep, and then my husband could have the music on for the kids or put shows on them for them or whatever, and I could rest. But as I've said before, it's colder up in our upstairs. So yeah, those are all of my whips that I've worked on this week. I obviously have other whips that I have not worked on this week, but that's what I've worked on this week. So then, no acquisitions for me, but I did receive 2 packages, which I need to send my packages back. So I had agreed to do swaps with people on Instagram with the Beady Butterfly, and it's Heather Marie 1224. So both of them sent me their packages, and I got sick like right after I agreed to do the swaps with them. So unfortunately, I have not got mine out in the post, but I do have them put together. So I just need to get to the post office. And today I didn't make it to the post office, and it's going to be closed tomorrow. So on Monday I will try to get them posted. And I'm also putting together a little birthday package for Kristen of Golden Vine Yarns and the Yarngasm podcast. So hopefully she'll enjoy that. And that one is basically ready to go out as well. I just need to figure out what I'm going to put it in. If I'm going to put it in a small box or a big envelope. So anyway, that's coming too. The one from the Beady Butterfly. I had posted about Tazo tea because I think the Tazo tea descriptions are hilarious. They make me laugh so hard. And she said, oh, I would drink that. And I pinged her back and said, oh, well, I would love to have some more of this Hampstead Tea Organic Black Vanilla because it was amazing. I got it in one swap, and I mean, it just smelled so good, and it tasted really, really good. So it was a black tea with vanilla, but it was just out of this world. So she said, oh, I have some of that. I will put some of that out to you, and we can swap some tea. So I think I have like 5 different kinds for her put together. Some organic African nectar, which is like a rooibos with some other flowers and stuff. I have one that's a apricot vanilla white tea, a toasted rice, which is again my cha tea. It's green. Egyptian licorice, and forest strawberry, which is a black tea with strawberry essence. It's a Tazo tea as well. So anyway, she sent me the organic black vanilla. So this is the one that I think is so, so good. And she sent me a lot of it. And then she sent me in Twinings Intensely Beetroot Burst. And this one, I've had one of. It was really good. I love beets. So it was really neat to have it as a tea. It was yummy. And then she sent me 2 spicy chai. And then a puka nighttime. Which this one I will let my husband drink because it has lavender in it. And I am allergic to lavender, so can't drink that. But that's okay. My husband will like it. And then she sent me, she said her daughter told her to include this. So it's a cinnamon hot chocolate drink, and I love hot chocolate. So I will enjoy drinking that too. And then she surprised me with, she makes these beautiful beaded, felted little works of art is the best way that I can describe them. So she sent me 2 little containers, and they have like this tissue paper in them right now. So here they are. Aren't they so pretty? They're just beautiful. And they have kind of ribbons and embroidery and beads and buttons, and they're just so fun. So I'm going to take those to put them on my desk at work because I have kind of a little section that has different yarny or fiber related gifts that I've gotten from friends that are small that I can keep, so I have some inspiration while I'm at work. And there's her card. I know it probably will not focus, but yeah. So that was such a nice surprise, and thank you so much for that. Like I said, I have hers all packed up and ready to go, so that should go out soon. And then Heather Marie's, she is actually a dyer on Etsy as well, and I'm a terrible person and I didn't check what her shop is. So let me do that really quickly so I can give her a shout out. Oops. L.E. Lacy Hand Dyed Yarns, and I will also link to it on the show notes. She asked me if I wanted to swap some mini skeins, and I said I would love to do that. So she said how many, and we agreed on 10. So she dyed some especially for me, which is so awesome. And then she also included some for me that she had received in a swap and hadn't used all of. So she put a card in there for me, and then one for Megwin. And here's the 2 bags of mini skeins. I won't get them all out, but I really like this one a lot. And then these are the ones that she had from either other projects or from other swaps. And then these are the ones that she dyed for me. So I love this bright yellow one, and I love all of them. They're all so pretty. Those are totally my colors. kind of pinky orange and yellow and peach. And then she included a little stitch marker that's a daisy, which is so pretty. Yeah. So that's very nice. And then she included for Megwin some fun stickers. So these are little boxes of stickers. This is kind of a little foamy heart notebook. And then for me, some yellow buttons, another of those heart notebooks, and then some different teas. So very nice. And it was all very beautifully packaged together. So thank you so much, Heather. I appreciate that. And like I said, your package should be on its way soon. I included for her a mini from my socks, 2 minis from my shawl, and then, you know, minis from other projects I've done. So that's that one, and hopefully I didn't crinkle too much. I tried not to crinkle too much. Oh, I lied. I did have one acquisition. Only half of which I can show you because the other half is for Kristen's package. So I got for myself a little a needle minder for my cross stitch. I have the window open, so I hope it's not too loud of background noise. But I have been eyeing this one for a while, and it reminds me of Jenny from Tiny Paper Foxes. But it's a needle minder from Tangerine Designs, and it's a laser cut wood. And then it has a magnet on each side, and you put it on your work, and then you can stick your needle on there, and it will stay in place. And that way you always have your needle with you. So got that. Sweetie.
I'm gonna make a card. Alright.
You're gonna make a card?
With the card paper you got me. Sorry to disturb you.
Okay. Well, I got it for both of us.
Yeah, you did, but...
What color are you gonna use?
Lots.
Well, don't use too many.
Just a couple.
Okay. How about you just get out a few pieces and then put the rest back, okay?
I'm gonna use 3.
3? Okay. That's okay.
3 for cards.
Okay.
I'll need scissors.
Okay.
You can't make cards with your hands.
That's true. Do you want your scissors from your box?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hang on. Let me stop my... Okay. Sorry, I got some package of like assorted cardstock, and Megwin wanted to make some cards. I feel bad because I had also some pattern paper, and either I left it in the car or I left it at Target. I'm not sure which would be annoying because it was a good deal. It was only like $2 for the whole package because it was Valentine-y paper, but I thought it was kind of year-round usable. It was like plaid with some pinks and reds and stuff, and then some kind of stripy ones with gold and red and white, and then some with hearts. But I mean, really, that's pretty much year-round for me. So I didn't think of it as being particularly Valentine-y, but what do I know? So, a quick mention about the cowl, just to remind everybody that our No Makers cowl goes through the end of February, and WIPs or FOs will count, but you need to make a post in the FO thread, 1 post per project, and then I will also draw for something from the chatter thread. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much for your participation. It's been really great seeing everybody's projects, and I'm glad that some people have just discovered No Maker's yarn for the first time. It's really, really good yarn, and I think Amanda is an amazing dyer, and I like supporting her. So, thank you all for being so wonderful and supportive and excited about the cowl. So, excuse me. That is that. And then I put up a thread for our 500 member giveaway. So I think we are at somewhere around 507 members. We were up as high as 511, and then some people unsubscribed. So as long as we stay above 500, which I was kind of waiting and making sure that we did, I didn't want to put up a 500 member giveaway and then feel stupid that I had less than 500 members. So I'm giving away a Ravelry downloadable pattern of $10 US or less. And the prompt is, what is your favorite spring flower? If you want to include a picture, that's fine, but you don't have to. Just thinking of with spring coming and everything, I like to hear what people like about it. So that's that. And then my 1 year podiversary is actually coming up March 1st. So I started 1 year ago, March 1st. I don't know if I'll actually be able to record on March 1st. I haven't looked at the calendar to see where that aligns with as a day of the week. If it is a work day, I definitely will not be able to because I will be very busy. If it's a weekend, I will try to record. But I wanted to put something together as a thank you to all of you for your viewership, your support, your enthusiasm and excitement. I appreciate it, and I've had so much fun with making this podcast over the last year, so I want to give something back to all of you. So, Coddington, again, was very sweet, and she made a few bags for the podcast, and left it up to me for when I wanted to give them away. And I actually already am giving one away as part of the No Maker's cowl as a prize. So I was thinking I will give one away for my 500 member giveaway, and then I'll keep the other one for the next cowl, which is the Wool and Vine Yarns cowl. So this one is one that she made, and she thought it was too big, but I think it's awesome. So this would be a great sweater size project bag. It's kind of tall, so if I put it up against my arm, you can see it's like from my elbow all the way up to the tip of my fingers. It's this cutie cute birdie print, and it has this great little strap, and it's the same blue fabric lining it that is down here, so it's kind of a linen canvasy type weave. And her bags are super well made. She's an amazing seamstress, extremely talented. So you're getting a really great bag. And in addition to that, I wanted to give away a skein of No Maker's yarn. So I decided that I should share some No Makers with all of you. And the lovely anonymous gifter from last time left it up to me on whether I was going to gift this or keep it. And I have a skein of Gnomesome Dove, and I have half of a second skein, so I have enough to do the project I wanted to do with it, and I do want to share something wonderful with all of you. So I will include this as well. It is a skein of Gnomesome Dove Scruffy Gnome. It's a fingering weight tweed sock yarn on... It's 85% superwash merino, 15% Donegal tweed, and it's 435 yards. So I will open up a thread for that soon. And like I said, thank you for all of your support and wonderfulness over the past year. It means a lot to me, everybody. So that will be the prize for that. And then, talking about the Wool and Vine cowl. So the Wool and Vine Yarns cowl will run from the 1st of March through the end of April. and it is knit with any Woolen Yarns yarn, any pattern that you want to do, any size really. You can do, if you have just mini skeins, you can do a couple of squares on a blanket, incorporate it into a project, what have you. Just want to support our indie dyers, and Kristen is really sweet, and yeah, she's a great dyer, and I have a lot of her yarn, so I need to knit with it. It's sort of shameful how much I have. So yeah, for that, so far I have just the one prize, but it is another bag from Autumn. So this one, I want to know where she got this fabric from. Autumn, where did you get this fabric? Because this is so freaking adorable. I love anime, and this is very, very anime fabric. I love their big eyes. So this will be one of the prizes, and then I will probably come up with something to add as well. It has this cute bubble fabric inside. If I could keep this for myself, I totally would. Or if I could buy one like this, I totally would buy it. So it is basically this size. And I have two projects in here. I have a shawl project and a sock yarn project, and there's probably room for another one in there. So it's a very generous size bag. So that will be one prize, and then I'm going to come up with another one. Either I might do a skein of Woolen yarn, or maybe a pattern prize, or something like that. I'll have to think about it, but I have time, obviously. So that is everything as far as news, and then just sort of more general happenings around here. So the weekend that I was supposed to have a really long weekend to do lots of fun, relaxing things, I ended up being sick. But the one good thing about it was Joshua decided to potty train, and he decided all on his own. We were not planning on it at all, but he took us into the bathroom, and he was like trying to take off his diaper and pointing at the potty, so we put him on there, and he just peed. And then he asked for paper. So he doesn't really talk a lot, and sometimes I don't know, in my brain I think he's a baby still, but he's really not a baby. He's a toddler, and yeah, there's definitely stuff going on in that little mind of his. So ever since then, he has been full-on potty training. He's doing both things in the potty. Not very many accidents, really, and he is kind of running the show. So we've got the baby potty out, and he goes over and uses it. The one thing is that now he doesn't want to keep clothes on, which is fine. But in winter, obviously, it's a little more challenging.
One of my cards is missing.
Yes. One of your cards. What cards?
You know those animal pictures?
There's one here on the floor.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay.
Got it.
Cool.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. So, yeah, he's doing a great job. I'm really proud of him. And then, I had some good breakthroughs at work, so I'm hoping things will kind of slow down a little bit there, or at least become more manageable. And then Megwin actually got a little bit sick, and this morning she was playing checkers with me, and she slipped and fell and like hit her chin on the dining room table. And
Practicing my sucking medicine routine.
Okay. Make sure you blow your nose too.
Yeah.
Okay. And she bit like right here on her lip, and we thought she had actually cracked one of her teeth, but it turned out to be some of her gum. So we think when she bit through here, it actually like impacted part of her gum as well. So it's kind of hanging up on her tooth, so it looked like a shard of tooth. So we called the pediatric dentist and paged him and stuff, and then by the time he called us back, we had figured out, no, in fact, it was a piece of her gum. And then she had just a little bit of blood up around this tooth, but she seems to not have any pain now. So He thinks it's probably fine. He said he'd want to check her out next time he sees her, but she has a cavity that she actually has to have filled, so she'll be in there before too long anyway. So that's kind of all that's going on around here. I will go ahead
Mommy,
and
this is for you.
let you go. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much.
I forgot to write the words.
That's okay. Oh, wow. Double dog.
Yeah.
Fun.
And look. Double cat.
Double cat.
This one's for Jessica.
Oh, okay. Cool. We need to put Jessica's picture or package together anyway. It's for you, Jessica.
And this one, you better do this louder. I'll say it.
Okay.
This is for you, Jessica. I
I'm
made
over
it.
here. The
I
camera's
made this.
pointed right here. There you go.
For Jessica.
Okay.
If she's watching right now, Jessica, I made this for you.
Okay.
And this one is for Emma.
Oh, this one's for Emma.
My
Nice.
friend Emma.
Friend Emma. Okay.
Double doggy.
Double dog.
I always do doubles.
Okay. Do you want to say bye? Because I'm getting ready to say bye.
Well, can I do a part of a podcast? You know I like to do that.
I do. I usually stop and make you have your own segment because it's easier for me to edit.
Well, then stop and then turn the camera back on.
Okay. All right, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you for watching.
It's
and I'm
my
going to do
next
Megan's
podcast.
segment when she gets ready.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye.